The White House is now threatening to obstruct the impeachment inquiry and refusing to cooperate with subpoenas. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. As a candidate for president, Trump echoed years of empty Republican rhetoric about the sanctity of our Constitution and claimed that he wanted to restore the values enshrined by the Founding Fathers. Although, as always, it was clear that he had no idea what he was talking about.
It's all about the Constitution and so important, the Constitution, the way it was meant to be.
The mainstream media wants to surrender our Constitution.
I feel very strongly about our Constitution. I'm proud of it. I love it. And I want to go through the Constitution. And that's what we want to do. I mean, we want to bring the Constitution back.
What do you mean, bring it back? It didn't go anywhere. He talks about the Constitution like it's a college student who took a gap year and now wants to stay in Barcelona because it met someone. Come back, Constitution. Katerina is only going to break your heart. Now, the impeachment inquiry currently happening in the House isn't just an investigation of President Trump's many corrupt abuses of power. It's also a test of our system in which Congress is supposed to be a co-equal branch of the government. And yesterday, the Trump administration did its best to undermine that system by declaring itself above the law.
President Trump continuing to stonewall House Democrats in their investigation efforts. The White House sending a scathing letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and House committees refusing to cooperate, calling the impeachment inquiry illegitimate and unconstitutional.
That's right. Trump is literally calling impeachment a process which is laid out in the Constitution unconstitutional. He's going to be so shocked if he ever reads the Constitution one day. Let's see here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, boy. High crimes and misdemeanors? I did both of those this morning. Oh, there better not be anything in here about golf. Oh, no. This idea that impeachment is somehow unconstitutional is an insane theory that has been percolating on the right for a few weeks now. Over the weekend, for example, a Fox News guest suggested that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell should actually change the rules to, in his words, protect the Constitution.
If I were the Senate Majority Leader, I'd tell the House, this is dead on arrival. We're changing the rules, and we're not going to follow up with an impeachment trial here. We're not required to under the Constitution.
The good old Mitch McConnell is like, yeah, if they do, we're going to have to listen to it. We'll have a trial. I mean, what's up with that?
Well, those are the current rules. They can change the rules to protect the Constitution.
They literally want to change the rules because they're losing. It's like if the Jets were down 45-0 at halftime and said, we want to change the rules to let running backs have SUVs. Also, you really got to respect Jeanine Pirro's hard-hitting question there.
What's up with that?
She's like an angry Fox News version of Jerry Seinfeld. You ever notice how the Constitution allows Congress to remove a corrupt president? For what's the deal with that? Now, not only is this argument a threat to the very foundations of democracy, it's also incredibly dumb, which of course undercuts the image Trump and his aides love to project, that he's some sort of political mastermind who's a genius at manipulating the press. For example, here's what one senior Trump official had to say last week about the president testing out different arguments to defend himself against impeachment. There are different ways to bake the cake depending on what sort of cake you want. Different flavoring, different temperatures, different ingredients yield different types of cake. And the president, as the master baker, is testing recipes and deciding what type of cake he wants. That for real sounds like a sixth grade prank designed to get Trump to say the words, I'm a master baker. Who, me? Are you guys talking about me? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a big-time master baker. Sometimes twice in one day. So now Trump, the master baker, has settled on a strategy of basically declaring himself above the Constitution, and that's because Trump is fundamentally a thuggish authoritarian who thinks he can do whatever he wants and even uses the language of authoritarians whenever he talks about his powers as president, whether it's declaring a national emergency to build a border wall, or asking foreign governments to interfere in our elections.
He tweeted, "As the President of the United States, I have an absolute right, perhaps even a duty, to investigate or have investigated corruption, and that would include asking or suggesting other countries to help us out."
He told the New York Times tonight, "I have the absolute right to do what I want to do with the Justice Department."
I have the absolute right to declare a national emergency.
I have an absolute right to call national security. We need strong borders.
I do have an absolute right to pardon myself.
No, you do not have the absolute right to do whatever you want. Trump just likes to say stuff like this because he loves stroking his ego to make himself feel better. You know, he's a master baker. So where exactly does Trump think he gets all these magical powers from? Well, he keeps saying Article 2 of the Constitution, which outlines the powers of the presidency, gives him license to do whatever he wants.
Article 2 allows me to do whatever I want.
Then I have an Article 2 where I have the right to do whatever I want as president, but I don't even talk about that. Nobody ever mentions Article 2. It gives me all of these rights at a level that nobody has ever seen before. We don't even talk about Article 2.
Okay, first of all, that's wrong. Second, what do you mean no one ever talks about it? It's the Constitution. He talks about our nation's founding document like it's an underrated TV show. Nobody ever talks about Schitt's Creek. You guys gotta see, it's got some of Catherine O'Hara's best work. Of course, we know that Trump has never had even a hint of intellectual curiosity about what the Constitution actually says when it comes to the powers of the president or Congress. In fact, one of his former aides, Sam Nunberg, once told a journalist that it was his job during the campaign to educate Trump on the Constitution, but that he didn't get very far before Trump stopped paying attention. Nunberg was sent to explain the Constitution to the candidate. I got as far as the Fourth Amendment before his finger is pulling down on his lip and his eyes are rolling back in his head. And I believe this story because Trump always makes it very obvious when he's bored. Just watch him whenever he's in a meeting and someone else is speaking. He looks straight down and literally hugs himself for comfort. It's okay, it's okay. Soon the bad man who's not you will stop talking. In fact, you can see the result of Trump's non-existent attention span when he tries to repeat details of stories that got dumped into the polluted river of his brain and warped by all that toxic sludge that's just sloshing around in there. Like when he told a story on Monday about a military briefing that made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
When I took over our military, we didn't have ammunition. I was told by a top general, maybe the top of them all, "Sir, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have ammunition." I said, "I'll never let another president have that happen to him or her." We didn't have ammunition.
Now, that was vaguely based on something real. In early 2017, the military reportedly was worried about a shortage of bombs, so sort of in the neighborhood, but not really close. The story got warped so badly in Trump's rotting brain that it turned into an incoherent rant about a top general, maybe the top of them all, coming to him and saying, "We have no ammunition." Like, first of all, what do you mean he was a top general, maybe the top of them all? He was either a top general or he wasn't. In the military, there's no gray area about who's at the top. You don't have to Google it. Well, according to TripAdvisor, he's #1, but Yelp says he's only 3 stars. Second, can we hear what this top general supposedly said again?
"Sir, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have ammunition."
That is not how generals talk. He might have said, "Sir, we are currently experiencing a shortage of ordnance," but this dummy over here heard, "Sir, we don't have bullets, sir. We've been throwing kitchen supplies at the enemy, sir. We got one guy out there running around with a food processor, sir. He hasn't killed anyone, but he's becoming a real master baker." So, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that this is the same self-obsessed idiot who thinks impeachment is unconstitutional and insists he has the absolute right to do whatever he wants, and now he's actively obstructing the impeachment inquiry. For example, yesterday, the White House blocked a key player in the Ukraine scandal, an ambassador named Gordon Sondland, from testifying. Now, Sondland came to prominence last week after a series of damning new text messages was released in which State Department officials expressed concern to Sondland about the quid pro quo Trump was dangling with Ukraine. Sondland was one of the key players involved in that quid pro quo, and at one point during the text exchanges, he realized he should not be texting about this scandal at all.
On September 1st, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor, texts the U.S. ambassador to EU, Gordon Sondland, and writes this: "Are we now saying that security assistance and White House meetings are conditioned on investigations?" Sondland says, "Call me."
Oh man, anytime you text someone and they write back, call me, it is not good. It's like if you texted your fiance, can't wait to get married tonight, and they just wrote back, call me, you better find out if that honeymoon suite is refundable. So naturally, the Democrats want to interview Sondland as part of the impeachment inquiry, but Trump is simultaneously blocking Sondland from testifying while also claiming that he would love to let Sondland testify.
On Twitter, the president insisted he would love to send Ambassador Sondland to testify, but unfortunately, he would be testifying before a totally compromised kangaroo court.
I'm sorry, you're calling them a kangaroo court? You're the one who literally puffs out your chest like you're defending your territory. Fundamentally, what Trump's behavior proves, once again, is that all those years of empty Republican rhetoric about respecting the Constitution were a fraud. Republicans are falling in line behind a guy who's declaring himself above the Constitution and claiming absolute powers to do whatever he wants. We've had corrupt, lawless presidents before, but Trump is the top.
Maybe the top of them all.
This has been A Closer Look.